A mobile phone suddenly flew into the air, and the man fell to the ground with a sudden break. He was surprised and wanted to get back the phone, but a bird actually appeared on the phone. Then, the bird flapped its wings and flew into the air with the mobile phone. At the same time, all the mobile phones in the mobile phone store broke out of the window. The mobile phones on the street soared into the sky, and the whole family was playing with their mobile phones, and they all flew away, and the mobile phones in the whole city were swept away in an instant. Soon after, thousands of mobile phones wandered the streets, climbed over the fence, and came to the home of a rich man. When the man woke up, he found that he was surrounded by mobile phones. It turned out that he was a boss who sold mobile phones. The man was stunned when he saw this scene. He tried to escape with his mobile phone, but he couldn't. Suddenly, many birds appeared on the screen. The man was completely taken aback. These mobile phones slowly approached the man, and then wrapped him up like a tornado. A mobile phone went straight into the man's mouth in an instant. Countless mobile phones followed suit. The mobile phone burst out of the man's stomach. The next day, Dr. Steve came to investigate with his men, and the robot Lucy found through analysis that it was a mobile phone wreckage. Steve came to the conclusion based on what happened in the past 2 days that the mobile phone was the murderer. Steve returned to the lab. He put a card into the phone to test, and as expected, the phone flew away in an instant. Steve installed a tracker on his mobile phone, which accurately tracked the location of the mobile phone. Steve and the robot Lucy arrived at their destination. The calm lake was covered by a cloud of dark clouds. The densely packed mobile phones are like birds in the sky. At this moment, it was like the end of the world. In the next second, the phone turned into a huge eagle claw, grabbed the signal tower, broke it, and threw it directly at Steve. Fortunately, Lucy reacted quickly and saved Steve. In the end, Eagle Claw turned into a black cloud and flew towards the city center. At the meeting, Steve proposed to let Raj take the shot, and the city might be destroyed if Raj took the shot. With opposition spearheaded by Stanley, many high-ranking officials unanimously agreed to use armed force. Afterwards, they were fully armed. Planes and artillery were dispatched one after another, and a group of mobile phones were wandering on the street. They climbed into a crane and wrapped the driver. The 2 soldiers were also tightly wrapped by the mobile phone. Soldiers shot and killed innocent workers. Soldiers in tanks were also not spared. The whole town was turned into ruins in an instant. Then, the phone turned into eagles again. Not long after, a hurricane blew over the city, and a huge eagle swooped down from a high altitude. The soldiers fired with all their firepower, but they couldn't hurt a bit. Eagles is fearless in the face of cannons, and tanks and armored vehicles are thrown around by him like toys. Eagle's eyes were red, and everywhere he went was ruins. Eagles grabbed a group of people with its claws, flapped its wings, and flew high into the sky. Then they loosened their claws, and everyone fell from the sky one after another. At this moment, Raj appeared on roller skating. He is the famous Raj, known as the strongest man in the universe. Raj raised a huge net and caught everyone. Eagles had big red eyes and charged towards Raj aggressively. Raj raised the big net again and flew into the air, directly blocking the eagle's path. The eagle was completely angry and instantly disintegrated into countless mobile phones to wrap Raj tightly. In the next second, Raj broke through the siege, and the phone turned into eagles to continue chasing. I don't know how long I chased after that chase from the sky to the ground. Raj hops onto the armored vehicle. Armored vehicles fired at the eagles. Eagles quickly disintegrated, dodged the attack, and reappeared from behind the tall building. The high-rise buildings were vulnerable under the wings of the eagles, and the eagles swallowed the tanks and people into their stomachs along the ground. Fly to the sky, Raj climbed in the belly of the eagles. Raj found the fuel tank, rubbed the flames, eagle's belly exploded, and Raj landed gracefully. However, the mobile phones all over the floor were resurrected in the flames. Eagles descended from the sky and rushed towards Raj. At this moment, eagles seemed to be blocked by an invisible wall. Eagles hovered around the signal base. It turns out that the energy of the signal tower can hurt eagles. Through research, Steve discovered that eagles are composed of some kind of energy, so eagles are very afraid of the energy emitted by signal towers. Based on this weakness, Steve successfully developed an energy transmitter. The energy is released, and the eagles are tightly controlled by the transmitter. Eagles struggled and finally disintegrated. The mobile phone becomes a mobile phone person. He told Raj to mind his own business. After the two had a big fight, he told Raj the truth. It turned out that he had no breath when he was born, and a bird landed on him, and he miraculously survived. Since then, he has formed a bond with birds. He became a professor of ornithologists, determined to protect birds with doctors. However, the electromagnetic radiation emitted by cell phone signal towers can cause great harm to birds, seriously interfering with the birds losing their way during migration. He found relevant departments, hoping to reduce the construction of signal towers to protect birds, but he was dismissed as crazy. To make matters worse, someone built a signal tower at his bird base. Soon after, all the birds died. He buried all the birds and offered flowers. In desperation, he climbed up the signal tower and ended his life. Unexpectedly, the powerful resentment rushed out of his body and absorbed the resentment of all the birds. He turned into a demon and decided to destroy all cell phones to protect the birds. After listening to what happened to Birdman, Raj expressed his understanding, but on the other side, Steve activated the energy launcher again, this time successfully capturing eagles, but Birdman's resentment was too strong and he ran away. Steve opened his eyes to find a room full of cell phones, which turned into a giant face. Later, Steve's body was controlled by the mobile phone, and the whole street was messed up by him. At this point, Raj couldn't touch Steve's body. Steve asked Raj to kill him with his remaining consciousness, but as version 1.0 of Raj, he can never harm humans, so he had his arms removed by Steve, and his legs removed. Then, he summoned the mobile phones around him and turned into a mobile phone Birdman to take revenge on human beings. When the robot Lucy arrived, Raj had been turned into a pile of scrap metal. After going back, Lucy found the chip, and once the chip was implanted in Raj's body, the consequences would be disastrous. After reassembling the body, Lucy implanted the chip into Raj's body. In the next second, Raj was revived and wanted to have sex with Lucy. But Lucy said that the fight should be resolved first, and there would be time. On the other side, Birdman came to a stadium. In a panic, he blocked all the exits with his mobile phone. Just when he was about to kill, suddenly Raj rushed in. Birdman controlled the mobile phone and turned into a super army to rush towards Raj. Raj collected all the machine guns, turned his body, and launched an attack with unlimited firepower. The army of mobile phones instantly turned into residue. Birdman transformed into huge eagles and launched a fierce attack. Raj used his clones to form a giant sphere and performed a rolling shot. Under the fierce firepower, eagles had no way to attack and then transformed into a huge iron net, trapping eagles firmly inside. Eagles immediately disintegrated upon seeing this, and countless small mobile phones rushed out of the cage, once again forming a 100-meter-tall steel giant. Raj smiled contemptuously and immediately transformed into a magnet, absorbing nearby metal, turning into Iron Man. The battle is about to break out, and close combat begins. For a while, the two sides played evenly. After 300 rounds of the battle, there was still no winner, but Birdman was even better, because Raj ran out of battery and turned into a human form. This time, the Birdman also disintegrated instantly, turning into countless eagles, dismembering all Raj's clones. Just when he was about to end Raj with one kick, a Raj riding a pigeon appeared, and they threatened the Birdman that if he dared to do it, the pigeon would be killed. Then, a group of Raj riding pigeons led the Birdman all the way to the signal tower. The energy of the signal tower was maximized, and Birdman's resentment ended. Well, this is the end of the movie. The main purpose of this film is to call on people to play less with mobile phones and to advocate the harmonious coexistence between man and nature, and to reduce the construction of signal towers to protect birds.